Ugh, come on. Focus. Really? Okay. Cool. Alright, I'm gonna move this out of the way. Alright, so, using this other camera because I know I'm gonna be talking a lot, and I don't want this shit to overheat, and since we're using the other camera, you can't see, just there. You can't see my frickin' movie theater thing. I'll just stand on this side. Yeah. Cats, what the fuck? Balloon, 16th note, sad face. Because that's exactly what this movie is. Oh my god. I could be seeing Uncut Gems. I could be seeing all these movies. Like, Oscar season is happening and all that shit with my lighting that, like, last time looks like I opened a refrigerator. But who cares? And I never learned to turn my fucking phone off. But anyway, I'll get a new light later. Great, I'm gonna burn my hand on it like I did during Star Wars review. Oh my god, there's literally hanging on a fucking... Anyway, so, this movie... God. So, I'm technically late to seeing this because it came out the same weekend as Star Wars. And of course, I went to go see Star Wars, and then I saw it, and then people were like, oh my god, I'm so mad about it. And I'm like, I don't know why people are upset. I do know why. Anyway, so... Because I went with a bunch of my colleagues, because we even jokingly... Because we kind of have to, you know, not to get into, like, my day job, but we have to kind of deal with, you know, Broadway-related things, so we kind of hear Cats all the time. And so, you know, someone was like, yo, do you want to go see Cats with me? And I was like, I don't want to go see Cats. And then I'm like, you know what, I don't really have I'm not a bitch to talk about seeing a bad movie. I think I have better lighting with this. There you go. There's a light this way. Oh, it's really gonna echo. But yeah, I'm not really a bitch to talk about seeing, like, not wanting to see a bad movie, because if I saw 2 out of the 3 50 Shades movies in theaters, like, I'm not one to talk. Like, I'm gonna go, you know, I should fucking go see this movie. Anyway, so that aside, so me and a bunch of colleagues, drippy nose, we went to go see this movie, and we were thinking, well, like, you know, our schedule's being kind of weird and stuff, you know. And finally we figured out a day to go see it, and we're like, we're gonna go see it on New Year's Day. And we're like, no one else is gonna go see it on New Year's Day. It's just gonna be us 6 in the theater, and, you know, like, we're just gonna be loud, it's gonna be fine. Come to this morning, we kind of, like, look on, like, Fandango or some shit like that, and we see, like, a bunch of the seats have been bought. We're like, oh my god. We're like, oh god, we're gonna have to, like... be, like, you know, quiet, we're not gonna be able to, like, laugh at this shit. Anyway, we get there, and we were like, we get there, and there's a good chunk of people, and then, once the movie starts, we're already, like, cracking up. You know what I mean? We're already cracking up. And not, like, loud. Well, there was that one bitch who was a little bit too loud, and I'm like, thanks for ruining it for the rest of us. Because there's these 2 guys who were pissed the fuck off. We're, like, 2 rows, like, you know, in front of us, who, like, seriously just whipped their head around and was like, could you stop? Like, angry, like, I want to see Cats! Don't laugh during this movie! This is cinema history! This is amazing! Oh, God. Oh my god, and this is cinema history. You know, not for good. This isn't like, oh my god, Blade Runner 2049. Oh my god, the cinema is not Dunkirk. You know, like, I haven't even seen 1917 yet, you know? Like, but I decided to go see this fucking movie. Oh my god! Like, everything you read online, it's true. It is fucking ridiculous. Like, the entire time, you think you're having a goddamn fever dream, you know, with this movie. And just to give a little background, like, I never saw Cats on Broadway. To quote Kid Mero, I live below the poverty line, so ain't no way I'm gonna go see Broadway shows. Like, someone, you know, like, being from the New York area, like... The only thing I've ever seen on Broadway, I saw Phantom twice, and I saw Wicked, you know, because, again, it's like, usually people in New York don't really do that stuff, you know, again, because we got rent to pay, so I ain't gonna be shilling out, like, $200 for some fucking seats, like that. Anyway, and my only, I guess, thing with Cats is that, you know, like, when they would have, like, the PBS stuff, and they'll, like, we'll show you, like, recorded Broadway stuff. Like, that's my only thing of, like, knowing the story of it, and I'm like, yeah, it's not really my thing. I don't really understand, like, you know, adults dressing as cats and, cool, you know, the song Memories is great. It's like, that's what everyone knows. So like, that's my little background into Cats. So I knew what I was getting into. I really did. I knew what the story was about. I knew the characters. I knew about it. Even then, this movie, I'm gonna end up kicking stuff. Even then, this movie does not fucking prepare you. Like, knowing all that stuff, it does not fucking prepare you for the insanity you witness. You witness some insanity. Like, yeah, you see the trailer and the faces, like, all that shit is weird. Yes. We all agree. They should have done practical effects makeup. They should have done something, you know, yes, I get it, use a little bit of visual effects to do some cleanup like you normally do. I get it. I'm with it. But doing this full, like, mocap thing, you know, and their like, things don't, like, the tracking, that was definitely one of the big things in this movie, is that the tracking was a little bit off. Like I had said in, like, my Aquaman review, it's, you know, like, Aquaman with the hair, and it was just kind of, like, this weird, like, I'm floating, you know, that kind of shit. Here, the tracking was off, because sometimes, like, if it's, like, a steady shot like this, if a character is just like, I'm singing, you know, that kind of stuff, it was fine, because there's not a lot of movement, except for, like, you know, right here, maybe a bit of the eyes, but when they would, like, when there would be numbers where people would be dancing and they're going a little bit fast, like, tracking would be kind of like, oh my god. And I jokingly, like, said to my colleagues that it was like this, where, like, if they're turning, like, you know, my glasses are, like, where the face is, and they're like, hey, I'm just, you know, it just, like, it was, like, always, like a hair, you know, slow, you know? And I saw it in a regular screen, obviously not IMAX, because Star Wars is still playing. And again, it's not like with Aquaman, where they only had it available in IMAX, so I was like, great, let's see the mistakes even more. And also, we didn't get the updated version, that they were like, oh yeah, we have to fix a bunch of things, because there were a lot of times, there was, like, literally just bare human hands showing. It was like this. They would be like, ooh, bare human hands, whereas sometimes it would be at least kind of like, I keep wanting to say painted, but I guess, like, you know, like, fur line. So it still was like a human hand, but it'd be like, ooh, fur. I'm a white cat, so you see that. But it would just be like flesh color, like, I'm tan, I'm whatever, you know, race the person is, but it's like, ha! You know? It was just like, okay, it's just weird. So we didn't get the updated version or whatever, but fine. Not that that would help any of this. But yeah, like I said, what you see in the trailer, yes, it's weird, all that stuff, but, like, once you start, like, watching the movie, once stuff starts happening, it's just like, you're like, what is going on, you know? And I have to say, there were a bunch of times while watching the movie that, like, I got, like, uncomfortable. Like, I'm watching it and I'm just like, I was like this. I was like, stop it, you know? But there was one review, someone called it, worryingly erotic. And it was like, I definitely got the worryingly part. The erotic part, I didn't see it as erotic. I saw it as, you know? But it was just so fucking insane. So it's like, also, the scale was off. The scales, see, that's how off it was, because there were several scales. And I mean, like, because the cats are supposed to be cat size, but then it would be like, you know, here's like a milk bottle, and be like this size to the cat, and it's like, wait, so is the cat really big or the milk bottle small? You know, and the scales would be all over the place, you know, and it's like, if it's a cat, wouldn't the curb be, like, up here, but the curb was, like, only, like, an extra 2 feet? Wouldn't steps be, like, up here, but again, steps were, like, an extra 2 feet higher? It was like, oh my god. So there were times where, like, okay, so there are times where you're watching and you're like, okay, the cat's a cat size. Like a regular house cat, you know? Not a kitty, or... Because sometimes you would think, like, okay, they're, like, tiny kitty size. Then you're like, okay, they're a regular house cat size. And then there are times where, like, it's the size of a toddler, you know? So they're a fucking, you know, like, like a baby tiger, you know? A child tiger, you know? Yeah, it was just... the scale was all over the place, so that bothered the fuck out of me. I think anyone who, like, builds miniatures or shit like that, they were just probably like... like, architecture people, if they end up watching this, are like, because it's all over the place. Nothing makes any fucking sense. And again, like, when I mentioned the whole, like, oh, you can see their hands and stuff, some characters had shoes on and some didn't. So they were like the two like dancing ones, well, two dancing ones, like there were only two that dance, but they were like the two like hip-hop dancing ones that had Converses on. Where do you find kitty Converses? And I get it, like you could put shoes on animals, but then there was like the really overtly effeminate gay one that was like, wow, we couldn't even update this. This is like literally like, what's gay? That, like that kind of shit. And it had tap shoes on, and then suddenly like they were just like tappa 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 tappa. Suddenly we're on the railroad, and suddenly there's a bunch of us with tap shoes on, you know. And then there they were like the scale of like mice. I'll get to that in a second. And then, like, Taylor Swift's character is, like, in and out, which is fine, because I really did not need to see her. And she had a fucking character shoe on, like she was a goddamn rockette. Like, why? First of all, Taylor Swift is taller than me, and I'm already a tall bitch. And why is she having a character shoe on? I love I'm pointing at my foot as if you can fucking see it. Bitch has a character shoe on. A fucking character shoe on. Others, like, it's just like, you know, oh, cool, we made the foot white. But, like, they don't put fur on it. They just, like, made the foot white, you know what I mean? Or black or whatever color the cat is. But then they didn't, like, really add fur to it. It's like they just shaved the foot of the cat. But it's, like, a human foot. And it's, like, why? Like, some of them have shoes on. Some of them are barefoot or cat foot. What? Actually, you really can't say it's cat foot. Because it was human feet. You know, if, like, everyone had, like, little booties on, I don't know, man, like, it didn't make any fucking sense. I don't know why I'm trying to make sense of this shit. It doesn't make any goddamn sense, you know? I don't see really anyone going to see this movie and thinking, like, I'm gonna see, as I have my receipt and ticket, like, going to see, like a... No one's watching this and taking it seriously. Probably except for those two guys that got really mad that everyone else was like, the rest of the theater was laughing. Like, they were on this side, like, because we were, like, where we were seated were a little bit to the right, but we sat all the way in the back. Because we jokingly said that we're going to sit in the delinquent seats all the way in the back. And, like, the downside of that is because you're against the wall, so you can't, like, really lean back, kind of like when you're in, like, an airplane. But the good thing is that, because there was no one behind me, there were a few moments where it was good, because it would have been an issue, and I'll get to that. But yeah, the whole shoe, non-shoe thing, feetsies, actual people feet, that just threw us the fuck off. And then, like, then it's the whole thing of, like, they're cats, but then, like, the fancier cats are wearing fur, and it's like, well, what fur is that? Is that previous? Did you kill a cat? It's like me wearing a human suit, you know? And it's just like fucking, Rebel Wilson had, like, you know, she was supposed to be like Garfield, pretty much, because she was a big, fat tabby cat. And then at one point, like, you saw, it looked like the pull ring of, like, a can, and so you're like, oh, okay, you know, I get it, like, cat food, and then she, like, unzips it, because apparently, at first it's, like, a collar, but then she unzips her fursuit, and then she has, like, this, like, vest thing on, so she can do, like, a number and shit, but then also the vest wasn't tracked well with her fur, so it was, like, so it was kind of like, wait, hold on, you know, when you wear, like, that type of bra, and you turn and then, like, the bra is still here and your tits are facing this way, yeah. It's like that, you're like, oh my god. It was like, oh my god. Because when that happened, the audience went, oh! Like, we all went, oh! Like, what was that? And then that scene gets really weird because she's like, opens a thing under the table, and it's like mice, but all the mice are children, and then they all have the fucking weird faces too, and they're like, where are mice? Where are mice? And it's like, why? Why? And then she, like, does some other fucking shit of being like, I'm the fat cat bullshit, and then she goes and, like, does something else, and then there's, like, roaches, and the roaches got the fucking faces, and then she's, like, eating the roaches, and, like, during that, the audience was like, ah, nah, ah, it was like, ah, I was like, I need my mom, I need to be comforted, I'm so uncomfortable, oh my god, it was just like, you know, you're like, what is this, you know? And then when her song and dance number ends, like, fucking Jason Derulo is there, which I didn't really shout it, but I kind of said it in the theater. I would have shouted it, but I didn't want those two guys to yell at me. Because, you know, they were just so pissed. But yeah, Jason Derulo shows up and he would like say his lines when he says his lines with such a British accent. It's so fucking fake. This is not British accent. Like, okay, bro, like that's just bring it out. And then like it's funny, any of like the American actors, I guess except for Jennifer Hudson, the American actors would try to like sing with a slight British accent or speak with one. And then again, there's Jennifer Hudson, but she's Jennifer Hudson, so like whatever. Yeah, so like Jason Derulo shows up and then he has a fur coat on, and then like he like opens it like a fucking flasher, and of course, you know, there's no like junk because no one's got junk. And so he's kind of like, woo, crotch hump, and you're like, oh, okay, you know, and it's like, and then, oh my god. So of course Idris Elba looks ridiculous, we all know that, because everyone else, he's the only one that has like those like really cheap $20 cosplay lenses, you know, that you get, where you're like, bro, you probably shouldn't have spent only $20, and also I don't think you should put those in your eyes, because those last like a minute, you know? And he's got those like bright green ones in, and he looks like the meme where he looks like freaking Tom and Jerry, where he's sneaking, looking like a fucking pimp and shit. Like, oh my god, my nose is all dripping from laughing. But, oh god. But yeah, so, wow. I like coughed towards my guitars and they all went, whoa. Wow. Making better music than what the fuck I witnessed today. Oh my god. Yeah, so then, can't really be so loud next to the guitars. Whoa, it's so weird. Anyway, so, so yeah, Idris Elba as Pimp Cat, whatever. He's like a wanted cat, which there was wanted posters, but I'm like, who made those wanted posters? Was it other cats? I don't think it was humans. Because would you ever think a cat was that bad and you had a fucking wanted poster for, you know? We're like, oh, here you go, Fluffy. It's usually like a lost cat, but it was just like, Idris Elba cat. And you're like, alright, whatever. And he had like a pimp coat on, you know? And you're like, okay, fine. You know? Oh my god, and when they introduced Dame Judi Dench, oh my god, we were all fucking cracking up. Cause like, they were just like coming into frame, they were like, oh, Deuteronomy, oh, Deuteronomy, oh, Deuteronomy, like that. And we all knew what was coming up. And then you see her like in the distance, like just kind of silhouetted, and all of us were already like you just heard the audience like that. And then when she starts coming, like, you know, like into the light more and like into frame, she looks like, and I've seen the trailer, I've seen the pictures, I've seen all that, but my god, once you see her like in shot, she looks like the fucking Cowardly Lion, like, because she's got like that shit going on, and then all that fur, and then she's got a fur coat, because why? You know, like, I get it, like, as humans, if we wear fur, it's like a status shit, but like, again, if you think of a human wearing a human suit, you're like, oh my god, that is a fucking serial killer, you know? But they're like wearing this fur that kind of matches their existing fur, because that all makes sense, you know? And she shows up, and we're all just like, oh my god, like, oh my god. And it was like, what's his name? Fucking Desus was like, is she missing car payments? Yeah, it's like, why? You know, and then Ian McKellen, like, you've got Dame Judi Dench, and you got Sir Ian McKellen. So you got a dame and someone with a fucking knighthood are in this movie, because apparently they don't got enough money, because they owe someone something. And Ian McKellen plays, like, sad old man cat, which his part, according to one of my colleagues, because again, I haven't seen the PBS thing in forever, is supposed to be, like, really sad, but it wasn't sad. It was, like, uncomfortable, awkward, and quite hilarious, which is, like, not what you want in a scene that's supposed to be sad, because it's a sad old cat, you know? And then he had, like, this kind of, like, tweed trench, which looked like a human-sized tweed, you know what I mean? But then had, like, really big chunker buttons on there, because scale, you know? And then, like, oh my god. And the weird, like, meowing that they would do, because they would do things, they would be like, and you're like, okay, I guess they're a cat. But then they'd be like, instead of, like, trying to do, like, an actual meow, they would actually go, meow, and you're like, what? What? Did they just, like, they're not actually trying to do a meow. It's like, read the card, meow. Alright. Like, what? You know? And then like Ian McKellen, like, la, 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 like, you know, oh, that's a good image of me doing that. And yeah, you know, like licking, you know, like milk out of a saucer kind of thing. And it's just, you're like, ah! The audience was like, ah! Oh, God. So much of the movie is just everyone going, ah! Oh! No! And, like, who thought this was okay? Who thought it was okay? Like, ah! Who thought? Like, who fucking thought? Oh my God, you know? Like, who fucking thought? Ah! I'm like, I'm losing my mind trying to talk about this. But who was like, you know what, it would be great. It would be great, guys. You know, it'd be great if we have a bunch of big names doing Cats, right? But fuck it. But it's also like, the Cat story is ridiculous as it is because it was written in the 80s and cocaine was involved, so why not? You know? Oh my God, it's just... Oh my God, it's so insane! I didn't, like... Okay, so I got to... Oh, and then, like, Idris Elba Cat has, like, this weird, like... magic power to, like, turn you into, like, a cloud of dust and transport you to, like, a random barge on the Thames. I don't know. Like, my colleague who knows the you know, because she said she had, like, rewatched it, like, rewatched her, like, Cats tape before, like, coming to see this. She was just like, this doesn't happen in the original. I was like, I have a feeling. Like, you can tell you're like, I have a feeling this was, like, added in to, like, make more sense of it. But really, is it making more sense? That was weird. Oh my God, James Corden. Oh my God, James Corden's character as Fat Fuck Cat. You know, like, sir, we are in the midst of, like, a movement on, like, body positivity and just fat acceptance and stuff. And you're like, I'm a big fat cat. I go through garbage. Bingo, fat, who's fat, unfat, we're fat, who hates fat, I hate fat. Like, oh my God. You know, and it just, like, let's rummage through garbage. Like, all that stuff. But jeez fucking Christ. Like, just gonna eat a whole shrimp whole, you know, with shell and all. And it just also makes you think, like, besides, like, wow, they're just rummaging through this and then eating all this garbage, fine, you know, cats do that. But it's also, like, how wasteful are the humans in this universe? Because there was one part where, like, in the background you saw, like, a trash can lid, and there's a whole fuck-off lobster on it. A whole fuck-off lobster's on it. Because there's one part where, like, you saw, like, the trash can tips over and you saw, like, a lobster head. I'm like, alright, I get it. But there was, like, a whole fuck-off lobster, like, intact, red, because you know it's been cooked, on top of a trash can lid. Like, as served like a plate. And it's like, wow, y'all wasteful as fuck. Because they'll be pulling out, like, big, like, mutton chops, and they're like, and I'm like, wow, that's really wasteful. Like, because initially it'd be like a bone with a little bit of meat still on it, and they're like, you know, it's like, alright, I get it. But then they, like, pull out, like, full chops and stuff, and I'm like, what the... Like, again, I know people are wasteful, you know, with food, but my God, man, the whole lobster, you know? Oh my God, yeah, James Corden Cat was just fucking insane. And like, just, God. And he's, like, in everything, because, like, during the trailers, he was in, like, 2 to 3 other movies, like, doing voiceover stuff, and it's like, my God, man, you have a late-night show, and then, I get it, you want more money, but my God, man, just, like, take a seat. Take a fucking seat. Like, oh my God, what else? Oh, Mr. Mistopheles is Magic Cat. I don't remember that. But it would just be weird, because suddenly he's like, I just pulled this pencil. Again, to what scale? With his pencil. Whoo. And he'd wear a top hat, and you'd take off the hat, and then you'd put the hat on, and his ears would perfectly stick out of it, like, he'd be like, hat off, hat on, like, okay. You know, and he wore a jacket. He wore a jacket with buttons all over it, because, you know, that's how you know it's a magician, because they're wearing a weird jacket and a top hat, you know. I'm losing my fucking mind. What else was there? Like, I'm trying to, like, go in sequence, because it's just... Oh, also, like, the music... Now, again, I know the music kind of, you know, but, like, not like that, because, again, everyone knows Memories. But, like, everyone is kind of singing at, like, this level, like, I'm singing, this is me hitting high notes, I'm singing, here, I'm not that loud, I'm singing, which is whatever. But also, like, whenever there would be like a number, it doesn't feel like, oh, this is a song, da 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 da. It just felt like someone just off the side just started to play a melody, and then they had to like make it up, because it felt like no one knew the lyrics, and someone was just off to the side like with a cue card, like, you know, because it just felt weird. It didn't, like other musicals, it's like it just, you know, if things flow and there's stuff happening and the song seems so organic, you know, and it's like blah, blah, blah. But like this, just like, it was just kind of like, I went to 7-Eleven and got some nachos. Like, it was like that. It was like, what? You know? And bless the hearts of the people who are in the movie, because you can, like, anyone who's a dancer, they got their paycheck, you know, you gotta make your money somehow. And they were great. The dancing was great. It's just obviously the tracking of trying to keep up with their dancing. Because you have, like, the hip-hop dancers, you got the ballet dancers and all that stuff. And then you have the people who are, like, obviously, like, theater people, because you can tell, like, the way how, like, they, besides, like, just, like, their movements, it's just, like, you know, their delivery and stuff. Like, kind of like when you see, like, when you saw Les Mis, like, obviously someone like Samantha Bark is, like, a stage person, because you can tell, because obviously she also played that character 1,000 times. But you can, like, you know, it's not their, like, I know it's not their fault, so they're trying their best, you know, and they're doing their thing. But my God, was it weird. And then, like, oh yeah, when Taylor Swift showed up, first of all, I love that they, like, gave Taylor Swift some shape, because I'm like, girl, no, because she's a 2x4, you're cat shaming, you know, fuck her. The cat with the longest tail, you know. And then she's like sitting on that moon, she got that character shoe on, and it's sparkly, and it's like, why do you have a shoe? Anyway. And then she has, like, catnip in, like, one of those, like, cocktail shaker thingies, and it just says catnip on it, because I don't know, and she's sprinkling, like, this glitter on, and everyone's like, what? You know, all that stuff, and she's like, catnip for everyone, and, like, her character's trying to be, like, sexy and sensual, but it just felt uncomfortable, because it's, like, Taylor Swift trying to be sexy, and you're like, ugh. Like, just sing about, like, how he broke your heart and you're making money off of, like, you know, your breakup, you know? Instead, she's like, ooh, ah, singing like this, catnip. And you're like, no, I don't know, ew, you know? And it's just like catnip. And then she, like, pulls a lever, and that moon she's laying on just farts out like catnip. And everyone's like, ah, catnip. And it's like, you know, and, like, that's when, like, when the moon came out, and they're trying to, like, be all Jellicle, and Jesus Christ, just throwing a word out there, you will never be Jellicle. Oh, you're a Jellicle cat. But they never really mention, like, they kind of explain it in song what Jellicle is, but they don't really, sorry, guitars. You know, it's like, they're like, Jellicle cat is like this. But you're like, yeah, but what makes that this? And they're like, anyway, Jellicle. And you're like, what does that mean? You know? Sorry, guitars. They are just reverberating all my screams. You know? And it's just like, like when the moon was coming out and they're getting all Jellicle and shit, and all the cats get all, like, their tails get all erect, and it feels like an orgy, and you're like, ah! Like, again, the movie, you're just like, you know, and it's just uncomfortable, you know? And then, like, of course, like, Jennifer Hudson cat, which is, you know, was like the exiled cat, the fuck off, you know, kick you off to the side cat because you, well, you know, were like friends with Idris Elba. I don't know, like, they mention it, but really doesn't matter. And then she finally goes into the song For Memories. And she is, like, doing the Jennifer Hudson thing, which is fine. We know she can sing. She's got an amazing voice. We know that. But my God, man, she has, like, the ugliest singing face. Because every time, like, any roles where she's singing, like, especially when she did Dreamgirls, it's obviously very, like, emotional, lots of feeling. It's always really sad. So she's always like, eh. So, like, her singing face is, like, the ugliest singing because she's like, and also, like, she's doing a good job of, like, doing the crying thing, but, like, when she cries and she sings, she also has, like, snot bubbles coming out, so she's, like, fucking Heather and Blair Witch, where she's like, oh, blah, 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 you know? So, like, they couldn't CGI that out, you know? Because she's like, the memory. There were times where, like, even I was, like, wiping my nose in hopes that it would, like, fucking, you know, help her out. But yeah, like, she would have, like, the single tear, you know, the sexy tear. But again, she had the snot bubbles, because we all can't be freaking Anne Hathaway and be able to, like, hyperventilate, you know, cry, and then also hit an amazing note, you know? But then when she, like, got to that part in Memories when she's like, touch me! And she, like, hits it, like, so hard. Like, I got, like, thrown back into my seat because the entire time she's like, memories, the time I knew. Like, she's doing that, and all of a sudden she's like, then suddenly she's like, touch me! And you're like, what? Like me and my buddy, like, me and her just, like, flew back in her seat, and we were like, oh my god, you know? She's like, it's so easy! She, like, hits it, like, hard. It's so easy! And you're like, you're just like, oh my god, you're like, calm it down, ma'am. Jesus Christ! Just screaming at me! Because again, majority of the movie, the sound was just coming from, like, the front, you know, because it's normally movies, you know, you hear sounds all over the place because it's a movie, you get that surround sound feel. Most of it was just here. The only time you heard a sound behind you was Idris Elba cat just suddenly was like, remember me? You know, and then he doesn't have his pimp coat on and he's nude. And, you know, we've all seen, you know, Idris Elba in various, you know, stages of undress, which is quite lovely to look at. But seeing him as, like, naked cat, you're like, oh, no! Especially because he's got, like, his leg over, like you can see my fucking leg. He's got his leg up, like how Jim Carrey was in, like, as the Riddler. So, you know, you don't really see his bulge kind of thing because he's wearing, like, you know, like a fucking, like, suit thingy. But here it's like, you know, they CGI, but it's just like, and he's like, I'm Idris Elba cat. I'm Idris Elba cat. I'm Jellicoe enough to go on the UFO. Oh my god. Oh, God. Like, I wish, like, a therapist wasn't so expensive, because I think this would be, like, my first session, and it would be, like, a 4-month-long session talking, and be like, no, Jellicoe, Judi Dench says her character's trans. What? You know, like, that would be me. Like, oh my fucking god. And, like, yeah, and, like, in the original one, like, they go off on a UFO to, or the fuck they would be going, but they go on a UFO, because that's the whole point of this, is that I want to be the good enough cat to go on the UFO to then be, like, reincarnated, because that makes sense, because, again, it was written in the 80s, lots of cocaine, you know, but anyway, so, because Jennifer Hudson, you know, wailed in front of you, you know, oh god, she just, like, screamed in your face, stop bubbles, you know, all that stuff, so hard, that she was Jellicoe enough, you know? So then instead of a UFO, which I'm upset it wasn't a UFO, she, like, gets on a chandelier, like you do. I don't know if that's, like, some sort of, like, homage to Andrew Lloyd Webber because of fucking Phantom, but then, you know, like, Magician Cat lights all the fucking, you know, candles on it, and then she just ascends up. You know, suddenly there's a hot air balloon. I don't know who like, lit the hot air, but anyway, she ascends up into the sky, because she's Jellicoe enough, whatever the fuck that means, and then Idris Elba Cat's like, let me grab on the thing, and he's like, oh, and somehow he's slipping, because, I don't know, what happened to your grip, bro? Is like slipping, and then he just, like, lands on top of a statue, on top of a building. I kind of hoped, like, his character just went, you know, that kind of stuff, but, you know, we couldn't really do that. So he falls, and then she just, like, you know, Jennifer Hudson Cat just floats away, and during that, so then it's, like, 'cause this kind of happens over, like, the nighttime. Like, the thing starts off with, like, someone just throwing, you know, main white cat out. And it just kind of happens from, like, the night. I'm just gonna say 9 p.m. to 7 a.m. Let's just say that. Because by the time the movie ends, like, the sun is coming up and they're, like, on the streets and they're like, kitty cats and the whole ensemble's there, kind of shit. And then, like... I almost said the wrong name. And Judi Dench was saying things like, remember, a cat is not a dog. And I was like, what? And then my buddy was like, she was like, yeah, that's an actual line. And I was like, I don't remember that. But then again, how old was I when I fucking saw that shit? And it was just weird because it was just like, bah, 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 and then they're like on like this lion statue, and even the lion is like, ah, like really like, what is going on? But then, motherfucking Judi Dench breaks the fourth wall, and she's like, turns to the camera, and at the moment she breaks the fourth wall, the entire audience is like, oh, it's like this gasp, deep inhale, startled, like, oh, like everyone's just like, no. She like looks in the camera and she's like, you know, treat your cat well. I don't know, she wasn't really doing this shoulder shimmy, but she was pretty much like, treat cats well, and you know, because your experience on seeing us, you might be treating cats differently. I don't know, man. Like, I'm cool with cats. Like, the animal, you know, and like, I don't know how much different. I'd probably be happier. I guess I'm happier with cats. I'd be like, oh my god, you're a kitty. You're not a weird human face. Oh my god, you know, like, but it's, you know, like, I don't know. It's like the moment she broke the fourth wall, it was just like, oh, no. It was like a no for all of us. Like, we were all like, this is not happening. We're not doing this. And it was just so, what is a computer? My computer is like, no. Yeah, like, when she broke the fourth wall, it was just like, ugh. But, like, James Corden broke the fourth wall for, like, a split second at one point, because he was, like, saying something, and then he said the word cats, and just quickly looked at the camera, and then away. And I was like, what? What? He said the word cats, looked at the camera, and went away. And I'm like, also, there was a lot of, like, you know, they were trying to, like, put some humor, whatever humor, in this, like, weird story. But it felt so, like, shoehorned in, you know what I mean? Like, there were times, you can tell, like, with Rebel Wilson and James Corden, like, the comedic timing, a lot of it was very ad-lib, because it was just, like, just came out of nowhere. So, like, you know, Rebel Wilson would be like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Like, it would just be, like a random offhanded comment kind of stuff, but, like, not a good one. You know what I mean? Not that good, like, Ryan Reynolds kind of shit, where you're like, wait, what? You know? It was just like, huh? And I was just like, why? And, like, I guess they were, like, trying to get, like, actual laughs, but, like, you know, we're laughing at the movie in a completely different manner. And then, like, oh my god, gay cat, that was weird. He had, like, high-waisted, like, conductor pants on, and, like, the biggest, like, stash ever. I don't know, man. Like, that was the movie. That was the movie. That's the story. That's what made, like, oh god, there's my skin. That's what made, like, $2 billion on Broadway. That's why Andrew Lloyd Webber is worth $1.2 billion. This is why I'm in a lot of debt. Like, I don't know. Like, this was insane. This was insane. And also, so, like, it ends. So the movie ends. Like, as it's ending, they just, like, they cut to the hot air balloon still floating away, and the audience were cracking up because we're like, oh, there she goes, still. And then she kind of just, like, fades away. Like, it's like this large on the screen still. But it's like, you know, but then suddenly it just, like, fades. And then when, like, the screen kind of, like, you know, faded to black and the credits start going, my god, like, like, everyone is, like, cracking up. We're all just like, yes! Like, I rarely ever clap after a movie because, like, what? Like, no one's gonna hear it, you know? But I was just like, oh my god, yes, you know? And everyone was kind of, like, in a joking manner clapping. My god, like, she fucking stood right up, and she was like, yes! Yes! Greatest movie of all time! Best experience! Like, she was just like, ah! That caused those two angry people in front of us to just get up and get the fuck out. They were like, okay, they were just so mad. I just kind of, like, I was really tempted to ask them, like, why were you here? Why did you think you were gonna have a serious movie going experience? Did you not read the reviews? Did you not see the large series of tweets people had being like, what the fuck is this shit, you know? Like, no one, like, besides, like, those two guys and a couple of those other two guys that look like pimps in fur coats, I shit you not. We were like, are they going to see Cats as well? And then one of my other colleagues was like, maybe they're going to go see Uncut Gems, because they were like, you know, they got jewels. I don't know. And then we saw them, like, coming into the theater, we're like, oh my god! Oh my god. But yeah, like, I wanted to ask those guys, like, why are you so upset? And that's coming from me, as someone who's always angry. I was like, why are you so upset? What made you think people weren't gonna laugh at this movie? Are you an investor? You know, like that kind of shit. Like, do you have money in this? You know? Like, oh my god. It's best comedy of 2019. This is definitely best comedy of 2019. Just like when I saw 50 Shades, I was like, oh, it's the best comedy of that year. This is best comedy of 2019. That is fucking hilarious. And this is a great way for me to start my new year, just seeing this awful movie. Like, oh my god. Yeah. Like... Oh my god. I feel like this is one of the few times where people really did collectively go see this movie because it was just that bad. Because there are some movies where, like, you know, this is terrible, but, like, rent it, watch it at home, see it with a bunch of friends, and laugh at it. But this one, you kind of... As a comparison, you know, like when I went to go see, like, Get Out and you wanted that audience experience, this is like that. You have that audience experience of, like, you're all laughing together, whereas in Get Out, you're all yelling at it. But, you know, it's that same, like, collective audience experience. We all feel the same way. We're all upset at the same time about the same thing. Like, oh my god. Who thought this was okay? This movie cost $95 million. An opening weekend, it only made $6.5 million. You know, I paid like... God, how much did I pay for my ticket? Jesus Christ. I paid $15.99 for my ticket. My snacks I got my snacks for free because I had a voucher, which I kind of was like, why didn't I use the voucher? Anyway. But, you know, like, it's just... There are a couple parts in the movie where, like, people would laugh and I just couldn't even react to it. Like, I knew it was a what the fuck, but I couldn't, like, laugh it out or say anything. I was just like, you know? Oh my god. I mean, it was a great bonding experience with my colleagues, so I definitely enjoyed that. But, oh my god, just... Oh my god. Oh my god. I don't know... Part of me wants to mention the trailers, but what's the point of mentioning the trailers? Who cares? The commercials before the trailers started were a lot of, like, animal-related things, and then trailers were animal-related things, too. It was, like, Peter Rabbit 2, who the fuck cares? Trolls 2, whatever. Who the fuck cares? Really? Who the fuck cares what the trailers before this? Because it doesn't matter. This is absolutely fucking ridiculous. Like... Who are their fucking right? I'm sorry, but like maybe the people who saw it like opening weekend. But even then, like we all saw the trailer. Like who in their right mind went into this going, this is gonna be great. You know? Oh, they had the Sonic trailer, which was like an example of look, they fixed it. You know? Oh my god, just I don't know. I've been talking for a long while, but yeah. So that was Cats. What the fuck? That's see the balloon, the hot air balloon. 16th note, because stuff was happening, and sad face. Yeah. That's what that was. Cats. Oh my god, jeez, my guitars are reverberating like crazy. Oh my god! I swear, this feels like a fever dream. This feels like there's... I don't know, man. I don't know. Anyway, that was Cats. Bye.